What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast. What's up, everybody? Phil Rogacki here in the studio. It's been a long time, and I'm joined with my good friend, the most tech-savvy Instagram live user in the entire world, Jared Abergina.
Killing me, man. Hey, I did good. I did good today. This
You
is
didn't even
better.
update your freaking app, you know? I'm going on there. I'm like, no way you can screw it up. We only done like 50 of these things, and, you know, it's like, Jared can't join. He must update his app. But welcome, everybody, man, joining the show. If this is the first time you guys ever joined the show, we got a fee to the show. And what that fee is, pay. And how do you pay? Share it. If you like it, if you get something out of this, if you see some type of value in any way, share it. Put it on your Instagram, put it on your page. That's all we ask. We don't have sponsors. No one pays us any money yet. If you do, send it to me.
You've been charging me this whole time, man. What?
But, you know, this is how we grow, and this is how we get the word out there is you guys that are listening to this today that are going to share it. So if you like it, if you love it, share it. If you don't share it. Please don't at all. For that. But, you know, this is a show that we bring some industry badasses in that have grown businesses, badass climbers, equipment vendors in our industry that come in, sit down with us and talk about their story, talk about the growth of business, talk about bullshit, and drink some beers over a table. And we got different shows we bring you. So one of the shows is our full length, which you're going to hear today is our full length with a couple gentlemen that I got to have a nice beer with today, and going to continue cracking some beers. And then after the show, we're going to go crack a few more and have a good time and continue the talk. But we have some other new shows that we're bringing to you. One of the shows we're going to be bringing you here is Safety Flashes. We're going to be giving you safety messages about real life experiences and situations that have happened in the industry. And we're going to talk about them. And we're going to have a group around the table that's going to talk. So every week you guys are going to have some real safety messages that you can listen to. We're going to have what other shows are we going to be having on here? They're going to be weekly.
Oh, you caught me off guard. I wasn't listening to a word you said.
Oh,
no.
Good. You weren't, were you?
No.
You were
We got we got our full episodes. We got our safety shorts, and then we'll be talking about a product and gear. So being able to, bring a certain piece of gear, piece of equipment out and talk about it and give pros and cons. Maybe it's, comparing side by side, but, just talking about what's in the industry, what's good about it, what's bad about it. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Different gear, different things like that, comparing products for that. And then we have our mini episodes that are out there, our What's Your Story, where we go to different trade shows, different events, and everybody has a story they get to hear. And today we got a full length, man, and we have the Arbor Group here. Brand new company in the industry, I'd like to say, because most tree companies that are out there, they're 40, 50, 80 years old, been in the industry forever. But these two gentlemen here are some Valley Crest OGs, number 1 and number 2, top sales reps for Valley Crest over the whole country that got together when that company sold to Brickman to become Brightview, or Brickman and Valley Crest joined together to become Brightview. These two gentlemen started a team with 3 of them, co-owners here from the Arbor Group. We got Larry Martony and Colby Kuhn. What's up, dudes?
What's going on?
Excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, boys.
Man,
Seeing the
welcome.
ranch, man.
Yeah, it's pretty special here. I mean, you guys were out with the goats for a long time out there.
We were trying to kill time while you had to, we were waiting for you. You had to finish your staff meeting.
Yeah, staff meeting. Just Jared and I.
Just Jared and I.
Yeah,
man. That was cool.
Well, welcome, guys, man.
Thank you for having
us.
Definitely. We're definitely gonna continue this conversation later today after this podcast, but you guys got a story to tell, and it was really hard having a drink with them today, sitting there, because I wanted to hear it, but I didn't want them to tell me too much because I didn't want to have to hear it again, the second time, so I wanted it to be fresh and everything. So we held back. We talked about everything else besides kind of their business. They gave some good insights that hopefully you can share with the team today of some gaps that you've had at starting a company, because there's a lot of listeners that we have out there right now that want to start a company. and they haven't. So hearing your guys' story and how you started, the bumps in the road, is going to be interesting to hear from that. So we're excited.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, Larry,
We'll
Larry, you a little nervous?
definitely get to talk about the bumps because there's quite a few, and nothing's ever easy when you start a company.
No, it's not. I always say it's like getting kicked in your leg every single day between them, every day, right in the nuts. Yeah, it's really nice, really nice. So tell us about you guys, man. Just kick it off. Go for it. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry. Before we start, we haven't been in the studio for a long time. We always crack some beers beforehand. Okay, I see you guys have already cracked some, but I haven't. I'm going to wait like a gentleman for that.
Excuse us. This hen house, so I've never had this before, but we wanted to try it, and we didn't want to wait.
This is a Bob Lehman special. This is what we drank during his wedding. There's still left over, and that's what we're having for the hen house. So
there you go.
Bob, the most special day in the entire world, Bob and Molly that got married, our producer, the man, the myth, Bob Lehman, he picked hen house, and we've had it on the show before, but we're going to drink it again. So cheers, gentlemen. Welcome. Cheers.
I'll put mine back.
Yeah, Molly's son works for Hen House, so he might have made the beer you're drinking.
All right. That's good. And that's what I actually drank at Blue Ridge. I had a Hen House out there.
Cool.
They gave me an IPA, so
cool.
I'm drinking the same thing.
Nice.
So I don't want to mix. So let's talk about it, guys. Talk about getting in the industry. Where do you guys want to begin?
That's a great question.
I guess from the beginning, right?
From the beginning.
No, I mean, thanks for having us. I think it's kind of crazy to think, we started the company in the pandemic. So June 1st, 2020, that was the kickoff, which, as you know.
For your company?
For the company,
yeah. Pandemic?
Pandemic was March. Company starts June 1st. And there was just so much unknown, right? We didn't know, is the industry going to shut down? Is it an essential business? Are things going to continue? There was so much uncertainty, I guess is the best word. And then, becoming an essential industry in a business, we were able to continue through it. But there was just a lot of unknowns, and whatever playbook we had and what we created kind of got thrown out the window because you had to be fluid and flexible, knowing that it's something that's just changing so constant.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to operate at a certain level with a certain style and a certain way, but during a pandemic, when things are out of your control, you just have to be okay with adapting.
So let me stop for a second. So before this, what were your guys' current positions in the previous company, and how long were you there?
So I was the vice president for the tree care division at Brightview, and I was there almost 12 years. And so, working in it's a publicly traded company. You learn systems, process, procedures. It's very, organized. There's a lot of stuff going on. And so I had, previous to working for Valleycrest, which became Brightview, I did spend 3 years working for a small tree company. And so I had a little bit of an experience working for, a family-owned company that has maybe not the same breadth of experience and level of systems. And so coming to that type of company, it's very, there's processes for everything. Mm-hmm. And you're going to take good and the bad, and you're going to create something on your own, and you're going to try to figure out how, best serves you as an owner and for your employees.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I was at the same company, obviously. It was Valleycrest became Brightview. And so essentially I was there 11-ish years in sales, mostly operations to some degree, running the part of the Southern California region, helping develop and grow that. And good, bad, and different. It raised us for sure. We learned a ton from it. We made great connections, and all of that's what made us who we are today.
Well, you really didn't know anything else besides that, right? I mean,
no.
You were with the company. I mean, that's all you knew.
Yeah, long
so
time.
Unlike Larry worked for a smaller company, family-owned company prior to there. I did not. So I came from a business background, nothing related to tree care at all, and was raised in tree care for sure from Valleycrest, which transitioned to Brightview. And so great connections, great learning. We call it the farm because it raised me.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes we refer to it as the farm because that's literally where we were raised.
And did you guys work together throughout that time? Like,
oh yeah.
So we were both heavily involved in sales, but obviously did other things as well. And so in the tree care side of things, Larry was number 1 in the country. I was number 2 in the country. So we were always
Did you ever
together.
beat him?
No, different markets though, so we can
What?
that can be a different thing. So,
So you were like, oh, he was in the good market.
well, essentially, we were selling the same amount of jobs.
What
There it
was
is.
he in?
There it is.
What was
You
he on
prepped
a
for
co-
this.
On a, what do you mean different markets? Was one commercial?
So yeah,
or
no,
one was, like,
different
multi-
areas. So
Okay, got
Orange
it.
County versus Inland Empire. So Inland Empire is a little bit more blue collar. Orange County, which we still work in those markets today. So
Yeah.
both great markets, a little bit different demographics for sure, and resorts and hospitality and things, but both great markets that we still work in today.
Gotcha. So you were always chasing him, but you never caught him.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he caught him. He caught
Yeah,
him.
I mean, we're business partners.
Now we're business partners,
Yeah.
so now we're connected. It's like a
Well,
marriage.
And so on top of that, too, we have another business partner, Marco Macias. He's not on the trip today. Sorry.
Marco, what's up, Marco?
What's up, Marco? And so he does a lot of like behind the scenes things for us, helps keep everything moving, running. He's our Bob, basically. So he's our producer and,
Yeah.
and makes everything
Everyone
go.
needs a Bob.
Yeah, and
it.
everyone needs a
Everybody
Marco.
does need a Bob.
Yeah.
And so, you guys have Bob, we have Marco. Marco's great. Marco takes care of a ton of things for us and makes
Awesome.
everything run smooth. So he was also at the company probably longer than you even.
15
I think he was at 15
Yeah.
years.
Okay.
Yeah, Valley Crest Brightview also.
It's about 40 years between the three of us that we spent.
Wow.
You know,
He was in operations or more sales as well.
Operations.
Operations.
Yeah,
Operations, got it.
operations. Yeah, regional operations.
You
and
got
all
your
that.
operations manager out there.
Yeah.
So who
Exactly.
started this thing? Who kind of goes
Marco.
F this?
Yeah, Marco.
Marco, yeah. So when the whole transition occurred from
he
Valley,
left sooner.
yeah, he
basically,
left.
yeah.
He left earlier. They, with his capacity to run people and do different things and procedures, they had him kind of involved in tree care. Then they wanted him to help in maintenance, which he had never done before. Helped with that for a bit, but realized his passion was tree care. Realized that we were doing tree care for a maintenance company, not a tree care company.
Yeah.
That's probably the nice way to say it. And so decided he was going to leave. Went and helped another tree care company kind of step their game up, be more
What company was
compliant. It changed names like twice. So
Oh.
it was Costas, which became Legacy in his time frame. So helped with just some compliance things, clean some things up, make it run smoother.
Was he with Valley Crest for a long time? Or
15
Brightview now?
years.
15
Mhm.
years. So
Yeah,
a long
15 years.
time.
Yeah.
He left, joined another small company, took a lot of that good from Valley Crest and started implementing it.
And the idea behind it was is a friend. So it's going to be a short-term thing, kind of clean things up, make things come together, help kind of line some things up and put them in the right path.
Yeah.
A lot of things were already going well for that company, but just how do we kind of clean things up? And so he did that and then decided, okay, his job was fulfilled there, wanted to do something different, wanted to start something different. So he started the Arbor Group and got it going with compliance and things like that. And then I quickly joined as well.
So what do you mean? He started this company himself?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he started it, started building it, getting it. Was he
like
going to run it
compliant,
himself?
that was the idea, but to be smaller. And then we came along essentially shortly after because we were all friends from before anyways. And we were all
Gotcha.
kind of itching to kind of do something different. We just weren't there yet. And so then I quickly joined and then shortly after Larry joined. So
Mm-hmm.
the Arbor Group came together.
So did he call you like?
No, I called him. I was like, dude, you
Yeah.
started something and I'm
You're like,
over
what's
it.
up?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got something? You got a spot for me?
No, it's more so like we can blow this up faster. We can
Yeah.
do something better and different. And I think the bones were there, but to the degree that it is today, it was definitely not the case. And then same with Larry. It wouldn't have been the same, nearly the same without Larry. So
Now all three of you guys kind of specialize in different things within the company.
Yeah, I think all of us can kind of do a little bit of everything in the sense that we both have operations and sales and marketing and stuff, but we all gravitate towards just like anything. You do what you love first and you put the back burner on the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've kind of honed that into let's do what we love. Let's focus on that. Let's put that as our kind of our forefront. And then everything that's things that we can do but maybe isn't as enjoyable, that other partner within this group can do it, And so we all kind of have different skill sets in the sense of what we love to do the most, and we just gravitate towards that.
What are those skill sets?
Sales.
Yours is sales.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, mine would be sales, but I like operationally getting a lot of things done too. So I end up kind of being the gopher, and I love marketing too. So anything marketing is done pretty much through me, and then we have marketing
The guy
specialists
that
work.
never goes on Instagram.
Yeah,
It's your marketing specialist.
personally.
That's like
I'm
me
the
being the marketing
Yeah,
specialist.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Let
But
me
doesn't
tell
have
you-
the
let me
app
tell you,
updated.
this guy right here, I want to punch him right in his face, okay? Everybody listen. If you see Jared, just punch him in the face when you see him. I've been telling him, like, come on, man, we got to do some social media posts. Hey, we got some new gear in. Let's give some shout out to our vendors, our partners. partners, all this stuff. Oh yeah, we will. Oh yeah, never nothing.
I hate it. I hate it.
We have a little summit meeting with him and I, getting focused on 2023 with some plans, and we're going out fishing at 4:30 in the morning. He's trying to do like 20 freaking videos. And I'm like trying to hook the boat, like trying to get things ready. He's like, okay, I want you to stand over here when the sun comes up. And I'm like, for the last 4 years, I've been trying to get you to do freaking social media posts, but you want to do it at 4:30 in the morning, right before we're going fishing. You want to do these posts, and then we do them, and we never post them. So that's it.
Anyways, to take the heat, yes, I do not post on my personal Instagram, Colby Kuhn. I post on the Arbor Group and our LinkedIn, mostly LinkedIn. More than Instagram, but after seeing your guys' success, we should probably be more on Instagram as well. So.
Yeah, well, just don't follow Jared's lead when it comes to posting.
Yeah,
but if you want to go fishing, we can.
It.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Gonna help a lot.
It'll help a lot because he got
there.
up to 3,000 people on Instagram.
Oh, look at
you! It was a big deal.
Well, I saw the hearts flying on his screen earlier. Is it all like teenage girls that follow you, or what is that?
Well, the funny thing is
it's my kids making me feel good.
He hit 3,000, but then I went in there and I defriended him. He's like, "Damn it, 299 again."
You just keep trolling him back and forth.
Got him.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I don't remember where we were.
Oh, I don't know.
You do the marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the marketing stuff, and then Marco does more of the compliance and then operational back end, all that stuff.
Good.
Yeah. So it's a good mix where we could probably all do a little bit of each other's job, but at the same time, we're all better at different things than others, which really makes it kind of come together
the
like
trifecta.
a
You do,
chord,
and you
know?
find where you're good at, what you love to do, and all of a sudden you guys fit in your spot of what needs to be done, but you're also willing to get shit done when it needs to get done.
Yeah.
So on this, you guys come together. Marco comes to you, starts going, Colby, hey, come aboard. Larry, come aboard. When is this?
2020. Yeah.
Like what month?
So I was quickly getting to the end of the rope at where I was. And so I said, I don't want to be at this company anymore. I see you started something. Let's build it better. I left the company in beginning of July.
But why didn't you want to be at the company anymore? What things were happening?
It was just more so, it was less about taking care of our people than it used to be. That's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
And we really wanted an emphasis on being able to take care of our people most and then our customers next. And it's with anything without fault. When you go publicly traded, it becomes more about the share price and the stockholder than anything else. And that's totally okay. And that's what has to happen in those situations. We wanted to be the smaller, more hands-on. We could control our own destiny. If we wanted to implement something, we could. And so we kind of pushed that direction. At least that's what I felt. So I left in July. I started in July, like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and then hit the ground running. And then Larry was feeling the same things because we live close to each other. We talk all the time. And it was probably, I think you started in September?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about that day you walked out, both of you.
Yeah.
What did it feel like? I mean, talk about when you went and whoever your manager boss was at that time. What'd you say to him? What'd they say to you?
We had two very different experiences, I will say.
All right, let me hear yours, Colby.
So mine was actually a lot probably smoother than Larry's.
They were like, "Oh, thank God, I had to fire you next week."
Yeah, I was on my way. They were going to push me out. No. It was something where I think I was grateful for the experience and they understood it, but I was also ready to do something a bit different. They offered different positions to stay, but at the same time, I was ready to move on. They were great about it. Like the transition was great for me. No problems there. So I don't really have any ill will that way.
Yeah.
It was nearly not the same for Larry, and I don't know how much we'll get into it. But it was just,
No, we're gonna get into it.
We're
gonna get into it. He's like, well, actually, the lawsuit's
I
not
was
done.
gonna say that we didn't send any paperwork for this. So.
All right, let's hear it, Larry.
But yeah, it was a bit different. So
Yeah, I mean, I think things get personal, right? Unfortunately, with business.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, it was at a high level at the company, and it ran its course. It was ready for me to move on, and I have to be happy and passionate at what I do, and I just wasn't at the end. And so for me, it was time for me to move on, and giving notice and telling the bosses and what was the scenario. I was assuming there was going to be kind of a an exit strategy in the sense of here's what we need you to do, here's how you do it. It just went dark, so. You give notice, you say, hey, I'm going to give my 2 weeks, I'm going to be moving on. And then it's just crickets, right? No one calls you.
Wait, you put your 2 weeks in. Did you email it? Did you?
I did an email, got phone calls.
So they started calling you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then it just went, what do you mean it went dark?
So hey, we're gonna follow up with you in the next 2-3 days with next steps, and then it's just dark.
To leave. To exit.
Yeah. Like, here's what we need you to do.
So did they try to, hey, why are you leaving? What's going on?
No,
Let's fix this.
No, not necessarily. I think I mean I made my mind up, and it was pretty. Hey,
they felt that.
Yeah, they felt that. Mm-hmm. I think they were just more in like damage control of like how do we handle the situation, and so instead of like next steps, it was just they just went dark in the sense of there's no exit strategy. There's no hey do this and that or come in so we can turn in your stuff or let's just make tomorrow your next day. It was just crickets, and then your phone gets turned off and your email gets shut down. Mm-hmm. So you don't even exist basically because there was no exit strategy of your bosses or someone saying, hey, just come in and just.
How'd that make you feel?
I mean, it was expected.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's kind of the culture. So it wasn't something that was like out of the norm.
But has it always been that culture, or did
it varies? I think by type of person or kind of the feeling that people give or get.
He's just digging. He's
Yeah.
digging for
No, I'm just
something.
wondering. I mean, is that the culture
Phil, right?
out there?
It's I think it's the culture based on the position, who you are, your boss. It's a big company, so it's hard to be consistent across 50 states with 25,000 employees. And so everyone's going to handle things kind of differently. And so that was just the way it got handled, and I was obviously at a high level at the company for a long time. And it just.
Now, were you working from home during that time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're working at home. So you're like.
Yeah, I had
Well,
to turn in all my stuff. And
so you had to like put your box and fill it up in your house and then take it to like your bedroom or something from your office? And
No,
how'd you
bring it to
walk out?
the
We had
office.
a company card.
You know how,
We had
like,
company vehicles.
You know how, like you
Oh,
walk
man.
out and you have to pack your box and carry it out?
Yeah, but
I mean,
company card it.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
have company vehicles.
where
so
do
you
I
gotta,
put this from
You
my
got to
desk?
return things. You got to bring your, your phone, your laptop, your gas card, your company vehicle.
So then you drove it there.
Mhm. And then I Ubered home.
Okay, so you drove it there. You had to come inside. Was people in there?
No, there wasn't even anyone.
So you just left it in the car.
Left it in the car, emailed my boss and said, well, I
That
had
was
to email
it.
my personal and say, hey, it's over, right? Because I don't have an email.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, how'd that make you feel? Like, what was going on? Most
I mean,
of the
obviously,
12
after
years?
12 years at
Yeah.
a company, it's a
And
big
then-
deal.
Yeah,
and
it is
then
a
you,
big
you
deal.
get Thanos.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Fucking dust.
Goes dark.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's working in a big company and like obviously I understand the technical side of our industry being in because I'm an arborist, but I also worked just in a big company, and so business is business in the sense of
Yeah.
like how things exit and what things go, and you can have like a structure in place to exit people or offboard, but there's always going to be emotion, and depending on how things are felt and seen, it's just the way it is. And it's not trying to be politically correct. It's just the way that there's always going to be a human influence in terms of how things get exited and how people get offboarded. And that was okay. Like it didn't, when it says makes me feel like I was already done, I was ready to move on. And so how it ended wasn't like what it was. It was, I had a good career there and I was, I learned a lot. And I think the biggest was we got to meet a lot of great people, at the company, and there was really good industry people. And I was cool with that.
A lot of those great people work with you guys now.
Yeah.
Quite a few, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, the ones that
You
do
got
work with us are great.
Yeah.
And then the ones that don't work with us are helpful and supportive in
Yeah.
ways that we never dreamed possible.
Yeah.
He's
So
like, yeah,
that's
the whole
been
3
huge.
divisions out in the other side of town they're ours now.
I mean, it's good because it's if you help people, then people help you.
Yeah.
And it's paying dividends for us as a business owner and being so young in the as a company, but also like it's cool to see people to help you, and even like competitors. We have a lot of competitors that we compete, but they're
Who's your
just
biggest competitor right now?
in our market.
It's tough. It's different areas because we have two locations currently. We'll probably have 4 in the next 2 years. But as an overall, it's either large landscape companies or a few specific like tree care companies.
They're just undercutting, low price.
So what's
landscape.
what's your percentage of work? Are you guys commercial?
All commercial.
Multifamily?
Yeah.
Residential?
No residential, no city, no vegetation. So it's either HOA or commercial or
Retail.
resorts, hospitality,
Yeah.
things like that. So all technically commercial. So no residential or any standalone family stuff. I think one thing to say real quick too, though, part of the reason I think it went dark is I think they're just surprised. And how do you react to a surprise is sometimes you just clam up because you don't know. For us, the reason we both left at different times within a short period, it was kind of a perfect storm. We were both highly compensated, enjoying what we did, but then the time kind of things were changing, and we were 33, 34
Yeah, I was like
at the time.
33 or 32.
And so it's like if we're ever going to make a change in our lives, and we don't have kids yet, those things like it's easier to do now than ever.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do it, let's do it, and if not, then not. And that's what my decision was. And then when I left, then he called me. He's like, "How is it?" And I was like, "I'm happy." And then same thing.
You guys are starting. Did you guys work another job or you just started it?
Started it.
Yeah.
So you were like, we need to sell and make some money here. Quick.
Oh yeah, hit the ground running, man. There's no like extra like, well, I'm gonna go scoop ice cream for 8 hours and then go try and sling tree work. That wasn't the case. Like, it was,
Why ice cream?
why I just thought of it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm like,
So this is probably
I like ice cream.
a common question that is running through people's minds right now. Making this transition, it's always what do you do first? You come out, you're like, okay, do I sell a bunch of work and then I got to go, put that on the books, and then I know that's sealed up, so now I can go, purchase my equipment and spend, $1 million and get up and running, or do I go right out the gate, buy $1 million worth of gear and a bunch of people and then go, okay, let's hit the ground and sell work? What's the balance there to, the secret of success?
For us, it's a little different because Marco had the equipment going a little bit, but I don't know if there's ever like a secret recipe.
Don't one hotel room.
Still to this day, yeah.
One bed.
Yeah, I mean,
One bed, one hotel room.
You got to have a strategy, but you also have to be conservative, and you want to be aggressive, because I know Phil likes to, hey, just double in size. Just reverse it backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the math.
Hire more.
Yeah, just hire more people.
What would be your recommendation, though, your opinion on that coming in to a business like yours that you guys started? What would you say?
What was your guys' plan?
Yeah,
what'd you do?
Well, so nowadays I think it's a lot different, even with COVID going on, right? Because getting equipment was really difficult. Like getting tools was really difficult. You would go to stores and everyone was out of everything. Trucks are still impossible to get right now, but let alone back then, it was just as difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, like, if you're gonna start a company, you have to place the order and figure out what your time frame is, because you don't want to start selling work and not being able to fulfill it.
Did you guys place that order?
The order, Marco had the trucks placed for sure.
Okay.
So he had the equipment coming with a little bit of sales from like friends that had like landscape companies that were going to help give a little bit to go, but the leash or the run time was pretty low.
Yeah.
The good thing for us is like sales cures all. This is kind of the motto that we have. And so it's like, just sell and we'll figure it out. Like sell it and we'll figure it out. If that means we'll tell people it's 30 days out, 60 days out, we'll work with them. We have good relationships, but sell the work, because otherwise you're going to hire these guys and promise them they have jobs and there won't be any work.
So I heard two different sides from when you guys started to where you're at now. Would you say where you're at now is you guys sell to the point where you have to grow, or are you guys growing to the point and saying, oh shit, we got to sell to grow this?
That's a good question.
Because it started one way, now it's on the other side,
I would say, I mean, we want the right customers, and we're going to grow with the right people to service those right customers. And so, like, we're not going to want to chase revenue and chase work by saying, hey, we just placed an order for 3 chipper trucks. Now we need to put 4 or 5 people in each chipper truck, and we need to execute $2 million in revenue with that equipment, with those type of people. So we're more specific on the type of customers we work with, and then partnering with those customers for long term, and then growing with those type of customers.
So I hear the sales grows the other side.
The sales is almost always first, or at least the idea of like next year we need to grow a couple $1 million. We already know that roughly half of that's already met now for next year, and we have ideas of where the rest of the work's going to come from. Obviously, things can change, but we have a good idea. So that way you build a budget knowing, okay, by this month we need to order this truck because it's going to come at this time, and we can kind of plan for it because we're self-funded. We don't have private equity funding us with whatever people say. Everyone always asks us that. Like, oh, who's backing you guys?
To all you haters out there,
We
they do
checked out
not have private equity
401ks.
money.
Yeah, 401ks.
It's Larry's credit card,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
It's American Express.
IOUs go a long way.
Yeah.
No,
Groupons.
So, no, it was
Groupons.
it was like taking out of mortgages. It was taking out of savings. It was taking out 401ks. And
Yeah,
that was
I mean,
it.
it's a lot of capital.
Is that what you guys did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
I mean,
was it.
it's a lot of capital, right? You guys know it's a lot of equipment, and you got to put. And then in the beginning, you don't have credit as a business. You only have credit as a consumer on the personal side. So you have to put big down payments, and you have to personally guarantee things.
Yep.
There's no other way. I mean, whenever
you.
you start a company, that's just how it works, because banks don't know the the business license. It's
But you guys were all in.
yeah.
Or did it shrink a little bit?
No. There's no shrinkage because you can't. Like in the
No.
sense of like we left high-paying jobs where we were well compensated, had a lot of freedom and flexibility, right?
Yeah.
To now it's on us to do it, and
Yeah,
so
that's
however
what-
we figure it out, it's going to be on us to do it.
Makes your pee-pee shrink a little bit. That's what I meant. Okay? It
It
gets
gives
a little
you,
like...
no, we call it. It gives you heartburn.
It gives you heartburn. You get
Yeah.
heartburn? Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, a little Prilosec.
Now, how many times did you guys think like, oh shit, we're not gonna make it. We're going out of business tomorrow.
Never thought
Did you
that.
ever
No,
thought that?
never thought
Never
that.
thought that.
No.
Like, oh crap, we need this check
You
to
got
come in.
1 and 2 top sales in the freaking
No, they
country,
are. They're the
man.
best.
You
They
gotta,
are the best. They're
you
fucking-
shouldn't worry about anything.
No,
Your
it's
sales
one of the-
pays
Well, I'm
pays
just
the way.
saying,
No,
there's
I-
sometimes in business where you're like, if I don't get that freaking check next week, I can't pay the guys. Where am I going to get this money?
Well, that was when we just had to put more money.
Yeah, we
out
would
of
just
our-
write another check as a
Yeah.
loan.
We just had to put more money of our personal money into the business
Yeah.
because when you're growing that quickly, you have to float the money. And
Yeah.
so when you're growing, you're adding equipment, you're adding trucks, you're adding a location. You have to just put in the money because you don't have another choice, or you get a line of credit from or a bank or something. But I mean, that's just in terms of like, was it going to be successful or was it going to fail? No, but we also didn't expect it to grow, I think, as fast as what it did.
Why did it grow as fast as it did?
Probably people and customers are the two things, I would say.
Yeah, I think things that we thought were going to go well maybe didn't. Things that we didn't think were going to go well did. And so like the playbook just completely just got flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And a lot of good partnerships. Like great people reached out, like
Yeah.
were either previous customers from before and they liked us there and they love us now because they know we are 100%, it's on us. We're not contributing to a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They want to see us succeed because they like us and they enjoy what we provide. But now it's like building for our families and
Yeah.
helping create opportunities for other people. And so we were pleasantly surprised with how much
Yeah, being transparent, honest, and
people tried to help us, like with, we want you to bid this, or we want to do this, or landscape companies saying we want you guys to do some of our work or whatever. So
That's good. That's good. When it comes to starting a business and doing this, it takes some cojones to do it, to step out. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have no fallback, man.
no,
There's nothing to fall back on, or go ask, Valley Crest for your job back. These individuals that you left, and they kind of look at you and go, I'm sure they were hating on you, like, they ain't gonna make it, they ain't gonna do this shit.
I was reading a good article, and it said, what's the difference between an employee and an employer? It's guts. Do you have the guts to go out and do it? And that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter if it's a tree business or any type of other industry or any type of business that you're going to start. You got to have the guts. You have to be able to step out of your comfort zone, put your house up, put your 401k up, put your whole, life, lower your, cost of living, because you can't, spend X if you have to put that money into the business, and you have to just give 100% or 150%, whatever it takes. But that's the difference between being an employee and an employer. It's the
Where
guts.
do you get those guts? How do you know you have the guts? How do you just say one day, fuck this, I'm out, I'm doing this?
self-belief for sure.
Where does that come from?
I think it's innate. But I also think it's something that over the years of being winners, like however it is, and doing well,
Yeah.
and seeing it kind of snowball and being like, we can do this and we're doing it. And then you say, okay, well, making sure it's you and your relationships and things and how you drive versus the brand on the side of the vehicle. And then believing like, okay, this is something,
believing in yourself.
yeah, attainable.
Yeah.
And your partners, right? I mean, some people will go into sole proprietorship. Some will do it with partners. They say like a brand, like a 3-string brand is better like a chord than a string. And I think that's the case because we complement each other, pick each other up, or someone has a bad day. It's like we're there.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably it. Like just knowing like no matter what, this can't fail. It won't fail.
Yeah.
And we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And
It
if
makes
you-
it a little easier when you have somebody that has your back too.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
you guys come.
Well, yeah,
up
you got
together.
support, right?
Yeah.
Something goes wrong, you have someone to help.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you lose a job and it's like, oh shit, where are we going to get work for tomorrow? And it's like, dude, I got it. Like,
Yeah.
I got one. I got a big one we just
Yeah.
landed. Send the guys there and we'll figure it out tomorrow. And then we move things around and make it work. And then you start to build, right? And that's-
Partners
Yeah.
can be
Colby's
the greatest
like,
thing.
I got
and they
you
can-
today, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm number one. Hey, who's selling?
Today,
Who's
I'm
selling
number
more
one.
work?
Larry's selling more.
Oh,
Oh.
damn it!
He's in Orange County more.
Oh, see,
Oh,
it's the
dude.
location. It's the
Telling you.
location.
Yeah,
Oh.
totally. That's it.
I'm hearing a lot of
Yeah,
excuses
he's
now,
been-
man. It's always a
He's
location.
been saying that
man.
for years, hasn't he? Oh, it's the location. He's selling to the higher end
I
clients.
do a lot of competition climbing in my free time, so Jared, watch out. I've
Jared,
been
watch
practicing. If I
I've
didn't
been-
do that, I would sell way
yeah,
more.
I've been
Yeah.
fasting, but I only did it for 4 days, so hopefully I beat Jared.
Yeah, I saw you
Hey,
ate pizza. You're in trouble.
So those people that were your direct reports, are they still with the company?
One of the two.
None of mine are.
Yeah,
They're
they
gone.
all left.
Yeah, one of them may or may not be
Where'd they
employed
go?
by us. Yeah.
Different companies. I think.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
kinda
I mean,
everything started.
I think with Brightview, it's splintered, right? So you've seen a lot of companies kind of either start or other large companies start since that merger. And it happens, right? Like it happened with True Green 20 years ago when that company started splintered and things just occur and happen. So you've got companies that have started from it, either small propriety or ownership or other private equity groups or just business in general has all occurred and started from that. And you'll always see that cycle, I think, going forward in different, industries and in our industry and the green industry. So it'll just be a constant kind of thing.
Awesome. Yeah. So for everybody listening, I don't know if you guys said it yet, but where's your company now as far as size? Everybody's wondering like, well, they started their company like what
2 years ago, where are they at?
2.5 years ago.
How many employees, trucks, equipment, locations?
We should put a picture up. We should have gave you a picture to put up. We have truck-wise 11 heavy trucks, probably something like that. I think what last count was like 24 total vehicles for the company, all in salaried plus hourly employees. We're at like 46. 48.
Yeah, 2 locations.
Hey Bob, can you throw their website up? Maybe grab a pic off their site and we'll throw it up on the screen.
Bob, it's the Arbor.
Yeah, let me give it a shot here.
The ArborGRP.com. The Arbor Group is some.
So 46 people working with you. 2 locations, dude. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
super awesome.
It's been a fun adventure for sure.
Yeah, the adventure isn't over.
That's
it's
just
literally just started.
It's just starting. Welcome to the job.
So what's the goal for 2023? What's
world domination?
Yeah.
World
domination. Well, you're sitting here, of course.
Those are my words.
Yeah.
World domination.
World best in the world. What's the world's best
Oh gosh.
donut?
I just want to punch him.
Yeah. So we want to
switch our logo to the Academy.
Yeah.
It kind of is similar.
It is
Yeah,
similar.
a little bit similar.
Yeah.
What's the triangle stand for?
Well, so it makes an A. So the 3 trees.
So there it is right
inside
there.
make
At the
the A.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 partners. So there's 3 trees in there, and it makes an A for the Arbor Group. So
Man, who came up with that awesome logo?
I may or may not have made that.
He's like, let me describe it.
So I had 2 majors in college. One was business marketing. The other was graphic design.
No,
so
I like
then,
it. It's cool, man.
Went that route.
It's cool.
I like it.
Cool.
And then we did red because homage to Valley Crest, and
Good,
no one was
man.
red anymore.
No,
So
that was it.
back to our roots.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Well, I mean, it's freaking awesome, guys. I mean, in that short amount of time. So, where do you see it going next year? What's the plan?
Opening a 3rd location. So we're going to
Yeah.
open in San Diego.
Nice.
We just want to compete against you.
Yeah. All right. All
But
right.
if you want to compete against us,
Oh,
we're also going to
man,
do
I like
LA probably the following year. So if
Oh,
you want to do
man.
that, we can make it work.
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
I think it's steady, consistent growth. We kind of been going over our budgets and plans for 23, but it's like, how do we do a good company consistently and grow, but not go too fast where our fundamentals as a company kind of erode?
Yeah.
And so I think as we
But
grow,
who says it's going to erode when it goes too fast?
I think it's tough because you have to onboard, you have to hire, and you have to get that culture in that.
But with a process person like yourself
Mhm.
and yourself, knowing this, and Marco, of course, I mean, you guys have the systems, the processes that you're building in that. How can't you grow and kind of keep that? I mean, what things are you guys are doing different to be able to make sure you keep that culture?
I mean, our onboarding process, right? We're probably the only company that does a hair drug test, which goes back 3 months.
Okay, let's talk about the hair drug test because that's just I've never heard of anybody doing that.
No, trust me. When we were
like
talking,
you're in the CIA, the FBI, they might do that, and Arbor Group.
yeah. So when we were talking to the company we use to do the 3rd-party process of it, it's obviously something a lot the green industry is not doing. But the challenge is urine is only going to go back about 72 hours, and so there's challenges in that. Hair is 3 months, and so any bad behaviors or bad things, it's going to get caught and it's going to be seen. And then on top of that, we do a full physical, we do an eye exam, we do a hearing exam, full background checks, and all these things. What we're trying to do is just potentially eliminate bad apples before they're within the company. And it obviously eliminates the candidate potential that's out there to be able to get on board, but that's okay. And so we'll scale, but we'll scale.
How
with
much
the
does
right
that
people.
cost to do all that? What you just said,
$300 per employee.
per employee.
Yeah.
Well, per candidate, right? Because
Per person that's applying, because they're basically, it's contingent upon. So they're given an offer letter to be a climber, a groundsman.
How many people did you interview last year? Would you say? Gas, freaking throw it out there.
A ton, 25, 30.
Well, the year before is more. So we currently have in the field probably 36 employees. We've probably had come through almost 120.
Well, over those course of 2.5 years.
Yeah, of people coming saying
So
they had a
you've
certain
paid almost
experience in it.
$40,000 or so.
We implemented, so prior to that, we were doing just a urine and a minor background. This was something we implemented about 2 months ago. That's kind of the 2.0 version of onboarding. And it's
let's
just
say that 40,000 you've spent in the last 2 years just on hair samples. Let's say you had it for that long. How much do you think that would have saved you from that bad employee?
like an ROI.
Yeah.
Like what's the return on
quick.
investment?
Yeah.
2 employees. We've had 2 for sure that have cost us that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think as an industry, we look at the challenges of qualifying people and then training them into that position, and you start to realize like just the amount of headaches that can be caused. And it's not only just hey, can this person pass these exams? It's the mentality of they want to go through this process because they want to be part of a company that has that process.
Yeah.
Where others may not do that, and so it just starts to kind of drive different behaviors of what people want and are looking for.
So everybody, it's kind of like almost like a little hazing. You get a bald patch on your right side of your head when you start,
It's just a
and
buzzer.
they know.
Yeah, we just buzz the back. It's quick.
It's
You'd
quick.
honestly, and we get you a hat. You'll be fine.
We'll get you an Arbor Group hat.
Yeah.
You get a hat.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think the biggest thing for that is like
I'm gonna have to do that to Jared when you're
When-
not looking, dude. I'm gonna be. I'm
we're-
like, hey, it's for your drug test, man.
Yeah. Good luck with that. When I think for us, we want our employees to know too, when the groundsman's on the ground gathering debris and there's a rope in the way, that they're competent, that they're in the right mind state,
Yeah.
that they're not going to put the rope in the chipper. Or obviously the chipper shouldn't even be that close, but either way. Or if we're working around a school or an HOA, that we've vetted who's working for us, and that the HOA can be confident that we've put safe, quality people on the property around
good.
their kids and their HOA. And it's part of something that we want to build a culture that's just different from the rest. And that's part of the whole philosophy of our company. So we haven't spoken too much about the Arbor Group yet. We want to build a place where it's different. And it's different in the industry specifically because we give 100% healthcare. We give dental. We give vision. We contribute 401k whether our employees or not, like they contribute or not. So we want to build a place where it's not a job, it's a career. And that these people have a place to grow and develop and continue to mature and have opportunities to grow as the company grows.
Well,
I mean, most companies say that.
They say that, but they do it.
Are you sure?
it's
No,
actionable.
do they do it?
I don't know. I mean, did Valley Crest do that for you guys?
They didn't pay 100% healthcare. No,
No.
for sure not.
Good.
Most
I
places.
I mean,
think-
it's costly.
Well, yeah, and I think it's to show people that it's doable, right? So we started a company in a pandemic 2 years ago. It's self-funded. It's our own money. We're giving health insurance. We're paying for training. We're onboarding the right way. We're doing drug tests. Like, there's a lot of handicaps that people put in place that say it's not doable or it's not possible or we can only do it up to this certain point or we can't do it until this point. But if you put in a vision and a plan and you stick to that plan, it's definitely possible. Is everyone going to be able to start a company that expedites that growth this fast because of maybe potentially the relationships we had? No. But you can do it the right way from day one and grow and scale a good, tree company anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world with the right process in place if you just are diligent on things that you are non-negotiable of. You just won't change or back down from your hiring process or your benefit package or your training program or your onboard, whatever that is. Like, you just stick to these things and you just will not bend for it. And that's going to create the company you want. And it could be $1 million company in Milwaukee or $100 million company nationwide. And it doesn't matter what that is, but you're focused on your overall plan.
Yeah.
And you stick to it.
And
So-
it is costly. You said it's costly.
It
It
is.
is very costly.
Yeah,
It costs
a lot.
money.
Yeah.
It costs money, but you have 3 owners of this company.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys make sure you guys stay on the same vision, mission, and plan that you guys are on?
Well, the good news is we meet often. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all close and we talk often. We probably each talk to each other either
Almost daily.
either one-on-one or we group call. And then we have meetings often as well. The biggest thing is there's 3 of us, which makes it easier. So if 2 people are adamant about something, then we're going with it. Regardless if they think it's right and I think it's wrong, I trust them as my partners. Let's do it, or vice versa.
So tell us about the situation when that happened, where one person's
really-
like, "This is not going to work."
I
and
think
the
it's
other
more
2
like someone may be more passionate about something and then we go with it and it may work out or it may not, but we have to be okay and comfortable knowing that like we have to give and get. Like you can't always win. It's like a marriage. You're in a marriage and a partnership. You're not going to always win, and you're not going to always lose. Yeah, no, I mean that's how it is. And like you have to be comfortable knowing that you have to be flexible, and you can't just put your foot in the sand. And even if you're super passionate about something, you're going to get, give and take, and you're going to have to be okay with it. And people are going to have to be okay with listening to you and listening to your ideas.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know in business, there's partnerships that work, some partnerships that don't. And so if you're going to go into business with someone, tree care or whatever, you got to really understand like, okay, maybe you guys work together, or maybe you're friends, but a business partnership is at that next level, because what's really now and part of it is money, right? And money changes and influences and changes people, right? For better or for worse, it just modifies the way that you think based on a financial situation. And so you got to be super aligned. And what we did is we have things documented. We have things, operating agreements. We have things legally binding so that there's not as much gray area. It's a black and white so that you don't have these challenges. Because if you get into business, you're $1 million tree company. It seems super easy. You grow to 100 million and there's $30 million in profit to distribute at the end of the year.
True colors start coming out.
Well, yeah, and if you don't have a good operating agreement and a legal binding documents, things go sideways. And what happens if someone passes? Does their wife take over? Who gets the ownership? Like, there's a lot of those things. So you meet with a business attorney, you run through these, what could happen, and you have to make those decisions. And you do it on the front end before you're 100 million, so that there's not that emotion.
Well, and truthfully too, early on, we kind of established like, what do we want this company to be, right? As a whole, not what do you want, what do I want, what does Marco want? Like as a group, what is it that we're after and we want to pursue? And that was taking care of our people, taking care of our customers, implementing technology to shake up the industry and do things differently, using all battery-powered chainsaw and blowers to be just different. That was before the mandates were coming out and all those things. We just the quality was there, so now let's implement it. And we kind of had these non-negotiables, like Larry said, where no matter what, we're going to do these things. And then as the company progresses, let's decide together when things come about. But otherwise, like as long as we're all pursuing that goal and that's the thing we're after, then it'll be fine.
So you guys are zero emissions on all your power tools?
On small tools.
Small tools.
Minus like large removals and things.
Yeah, they just don't have a large saw. So day one, we went battery in 2020. And then we installed a solar panel system in our yard. So everything is getting charged by that solar system, and as well as our trailer, where the office
construction trailer. Yeah.
And is it fully charged in the morning by the time you get in?
Way more. So we have 40 kilowatts of battery pack storage. And so even charging 50 batteries for all the climbing saws, the blowers, and the hedge trimmers, it only drains about 9%. And then the sun recharges it in about 30 minutes.
So we could power the ranch and all the RVs here and still be fine.
And be able to handle the goats and everything out
Really?
here.
Yeah. And what with the goats?
We can power the goats.
Yeah, automatic feeder.
Yeah.
We're going to get you a goat to take back with you.
Yeah, I don't think
We
so.
already took
I don't know
one.
if it's going to fit my condo.
I'll bring one down to you guys.
So go ride electric bikes with
That's
the goat.
pretty cool. That's interesting.
And as things develop, obviously, and the large removal saws come about, we were excited to put those in. We're working with Husqvarna trying to get those things expedited.
It was cool that in TCA we saw an international truck that was all electric. And so we were talking about them. Obviously, the cost point is substantial compared to a gas equivalent or diesel equivalent. But the return on investment, once you figure out what the cost of fuel is compared in maintenance, you start to realize, where that could be and how much savings that is long term. And I think as a company, we want to just continue to push that. As we grow, we're going to want to have, locations that have solar that powers, and then hopefully we're 100%, electric in all aspects as a business.
Where do you have the solar set up? Is it on a little building where?
No, so it's a stand
Connex?
basically. So it's they built like a racking system, and because where we are, we're leasing the property. So if we ever want to move, it can come with us.
Take it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How much does it cost to have that solar panel?
That was 110,000.
Yeah.
110.
For
And then you
the
could take it
solar
anywhere
panel,
with
the
you.
Yeah, you
batteries,
own-
the
yeah,
inverters.
you
That's
own
not
the
bad.
system.
That's not bad at all.
It's not-
110,000 for that.
Well, I mean, it is and isn't. It's
I mean,
a lot of money.
110 grand and you can power this ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
For
yeah.
sure.
That's
It has enough power to power a 15,000 square foot house.
That's what they.
That's what
told
they-
us.
yeah.
And from what we've seen,
How would it power
believe
this ranch then?
Well, it would power everything that we have. Electricity for the lights here, this system, the system would connect and then it would power
This
everything.
is definitely more than 15,000
Square feet?
No,
inside?
No,
15,000.
15,000. Oh, 15.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
livable
Sorry.
square
How
foot.
many HVAC
Gotcha,
systems
gotcha.
do you have in this joint? And why is it
No,
not on?
no, I was thinking 1,500. I was like, wait, 15? Okay.
Yeah, the system, and then
15,000,
it's movable and it's also expandable. So if we
You
want to
can
add,
Yeah.
So
All right, we got to get your company that you use. On
yeah,
this.
who
Honestly, I don't
who
even
did-
remember, but we can find out.
yeah,
who
we'll
did-
be able to figure
But
it out.
who picked this out? Who decided this? Marco?
No, we just decided because we were the area where we
We didn't have utilities.
We didn't have utilities. We didn't have the option.
So you
we
just
were,
called like, hey,
No,
solar panel
we had to
company?
start researching, and we got a couple different people. We got bids, we got estimates, and it took them a couple months to install it. But then we were able to hook it up to our 40-yard container. That's where everything gets charged, as well as our construction trailer where things get work out of. Well, we just we didn't have an option. We had no utilities, so we had no power, we had no
Smart.
water. So we have potable water. We have a restroom, and then we have solar to charge
Electric, yeah.
everything to.
Nice.
for our
And you guys
system.
could pick up and go.
Well, and
Go
the
somewhere
biggest
else.
thing, we
Yeah.
went we went bigger on the system because we didn't want to figure out a timer system because when everyone comes back at the end of the day, they all put their batteries down and leave. So if you don't have enough, it'll pop. It would
Okay.
basically be an inverter.
So it's shut off until they come back and they turn it back on.
Yeah.
No, it's on. It'll never run out now because we built a bigger system. But we were afraid of we're not gonna pay someone to switch all the batteries out and then switch
Yeah.
the batteries out and keep doing it because we're charging 50 plus batteries at
Yeah,
a time in one
and
location.
as we grow and expand, we're gonna have more batteries, right? Add more employees, add more climbers. You're gonna have more battery packs, and so the system's set up to basically power everything, no problem.
But if you guys move to a new yard,
We can take it with us.
you take it with you, but
Yeah.
it's going to take 2 months to hook it back up.
No. The problem was assembling the racks, assembling all that stuff. We have it all now. The
Yeah,
supply
and it's
chain is
also
done.
gonna
Take 2 months.
No, I want one of these.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were
No,
lying.
no, it
They're
took-
lying.
yeah, it
it's
was-
going to take 2
it
months.
it was actually getting it.
I know.
At this
Yeah.
point, we can get any electrician probably to
Yeah,
come
to-
unhook it. We take the wiring out. The system comes out. We move it on
I'm
a
gonna
truck.
come steal that trash from you next week.
Yeah.
You can try.
Yeah, you gotta definitely secure it with a
Yeah.
bolt system.
So we have a 50 cal turret. No, I'm just kidding.
We've got.
It's electric
Yeah,
powered.
Yeah.
we got Bubbles, the German
It's
Shepherd.
like a Tesla. You won't even hear it.
Yeah, Bubbles is patrolling the yard.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh man, that's smart. That's super smart. I haven't heard of someone doing that. I mean, of course, solar panels, but not
Yeah.
running a totally.
Well,
You
and those
know,
We're
off the
basically
grid
so
yard.
off the grid tree company, right? So we have no utilities, and that system powers us to be able to operate.
Now,
we're-
why go all battery? Oh, go ahead.
No, say we're on the same path here. That's why there's so many
I
questions
give-
around this.
No, cool.
I gave them a
Yeah.
little rundown. We can't say it on the show, of course, but they said they're going to prototype it with us for our first company.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some new for you guys listeners out there. We got some new stuff coming down the pipeline here, January 1st. We got a lot coming out January 1st.
The
so
Arbor
be,
Group's going to test it out for us.
yeah,
So if it works or not.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
We'll
get
report back
feedback.
to the viewers.
We'll
if
put
it's
it on
good
the
or
Yelp
not.
review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what kind of rate we get
Yeah.
and everything first and tell you how
2
good
stars.
it
I'm
is.
like, 2 stars. What the hell?
Yeah. No, I think so. The question you asked was why battery. Actually, it was Larry pushed it more than any of us, and that's one of those things where someone believes in it the most, and we say, "Let's do it."
Why? Is it because you have a Tesla?
Yeah.
I got the Tesla after the batteries.
Yeah. Where's your stocks in? Like some.
The toilet right now. Look at any stock market.
Not just a Tesla. You're looking for like.
No, so it was one of those things where we knew it was coming before they made the mandate, and they're going to stop selling saws in 2024 in California and things. And the biggest thing was, A, it's good for the environment. B, the noise is substantially different. So when you're working at a resort, when you're working at an HOA, and even more so during the pandemic when everyone was zooming in for work, no one wants to listen to a chainsaw ripping in the background
Yeah.
where they're trying to be in a meeting face-to-face with their boss.
I mean, the decibels are still pretty high with electric blowers.
It depends which one you're running. So, truthfully, I would say a blower's probably half as loud as the gas ones that you experience.
What's your decibels there? Like
I think it's like 90, right, at full blast.
Chainsaws run between 90 and 115, 120.
Yeah, I think that
So if you're around 90, that's not far
No,
behind.
I think
Yeah.
the chainsaw I thought runs at like 70, but we'll have to look it up to get to check those stats. But
Yeah,
essentially,
not I'm talking about gas.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, essentially, like the biggest difference, whatever the decibels are, I could run a 201 right now, and we wouldn't be able to hear squat. You'd be plugging
Right.
your ears, and I would be shouting, and you'd be reading my lips. Then it'd be cuss words.
Yeah.
If I run the battery-powered saw we run now, we'd have a full-on conversation right now. It sounds like a power drill. So
Yeah.
the biggest difference, I don't know what the decibels are, But the selling point for us is like, you can listen to this all day while I still have a conversation. You couldn't have anything with this.
Believe me, I'm with you. I tested those products in Sweden when they first came out. So
Yeah.
I was a big part of that, launch of the Husqvarna battery products, and I'm all for them 1,000%. And to be honest, not that I'm a little biased, I guess, but Husqvarna does make the best battery products.
Oh, for sure. For us, we believe that. I mean, we've
they're
partnered
just
with
ahead
them.
of the curve on that.
Yeah, the battery lasts
Yeah.
longer. And that was one of the biggest things, right? We're like, well, how often are we going to have to switch batteries out? We're going to have to add inverters on the truck to charge these things. I mean, those were all questions that we had on the front end because we didn't have any experience with it. We were always still, guys, from our previous employer. We always ran gas. And so this was a whole new world for us to explore. And they had the better lifespan of the battery and the runtime and all those things. The first generation saw, I will say, not great. We were selling a pipe dream to our people, and they had to deal with it because that's all they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The newer iteration of the saw, much better, and now they love them. Even the seasoned climbers that have been doing tree work for 30 years love these saws.
So I got something for you. So I thought about this when they first launched this, I don't know, maybe 8+ years ago. It never went anywhere, but imagine this, since battery technology is getting better. Think of the battery, that's the entire weight of that whole chainsaw. You take that out, the thing's just nothing, right? Think of like shotgun shells, all right? And you have packs of shotgun shells, right? Now you only use as much as you need to keep it light, right? So now if you run out, you just pop another one, get through the cut. Because oftentimes you're up there and you cut, and you're like, and you're like, shit, I'm halfway through the cut.
Yeah.
You're like, send me up another battery, and you're over here screwing around with your saw and your battery, where you could just be pop one in and keep going.
So have you talked to Gent and Carlos from Husqvarna about that yet?
I did that for years. I tried.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Jared just gives it on a podcast for free.
Yeah. Feels like we gotta make money on this
Yeah.
thing.
Hey, don't worry. The cat's
Commoditized.
out of the bag.
Yeah.
They looked at me like, you're an idiot,
crazy.
kid.
You're
Yeah. No, and we can't control those things, right? People ask for feedback.
Yeah.
We give it to them. We try to make things better. At the end of the day, we think what we're running is the best of what's available. Could it be better? For sure. We give feedback and hopefully the next iteration gets better. But the only way it's going to get better is by us using it and giving feedback.
Yeah.
That's it. You nailed it.
That's
Nailed
good. That's unique. I really do. I like the solar panel thing, and I'm sure there's some people that are kind of off the grid, but they're off the grid of everything.
Yeah.
So to be able to invest $100,000 into a solar panel and be up and running up to 15,000 square feet, running, that's interesting.
What about sales cars? Are you guys electric yet? Hybrids or?
We tried.
We learned that that's a bump, right? We talked about there's lots of bumps along the way.
What are the bumps? Let's talk about those.
So we tried Teslas for our employees, but the problem is not everybody has a house that can
Have an apartment.
plumbed
Yeah.
for Tesla
They just don't
or
have
an
charging.
apartment, right? And so what ends up happening is throughout the day we have to stop at Target for an hour to charge, right? And then people only want to work so many hours that aren't owners, so they're like, okay, this is my day, and now
That's part of it.
we're
So
burning
1
part
hour.
of it, right? So I think it's something we want to get back to at some point when it's facilitatable, basically, like when there's more places to plug in and make it more efficient, for sure, right?
So now all the sales reps you hire, instead of a hair test, you're just seeing what their mortgage is.
Yeah.
So you're
What
like,
kind of panel you have at your house?
Yeah.
Can we install a
how
charger?
many watts?
Yeah. No.
You're hired.
No, so now it's hybrids,
Oh, you got
right?
220?
Yeah.
you got 220, you're hired.
We'll actually give you a bonus. Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
So that's the goal. That was the original goal.
Now, why do you guys want to go all electric, do all that? No, because in California, they said everybody needs to go to electric. We're doing this. And then the first time they started pushing it, sorry, we have a power shortage. Don't run your electric.
Phil, we'll never have a power shortage. We're powered by the sun. We got the yard.
we're off
we
the
can
grid.
put in chargers.
We're
They
solar.
can charge
I'm
there.
just saying, for like the Tesla, the battery powder
Yeah.
stuff,
For sure.
I mean, why did you guys want to go all electric? Where'd that come from?
I think it's just a matter of being responsible. For us, we thought it'd be cleaner and better, and we're doing our part. I mean, we're taking care of the
But there's
environment.
arguments saying that there's more pollution and more things that happen with mining and building these batteries than they do on
sure.
the gas side. So
For sure. There's
What's-
arguments. What side do you want to stand on?
I
We're
don't
on
know.
this side.
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
putting it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Yeah, no.
which one is more
For
responsible?
sure. And I think they'll get better as time goes on.
like Elon said, he's like, you're absolutely crazy if the whole world went, followed this Green New Deal and all
Mm-hmm.
that shit and all battery, the economy and everything would start collapsing.
End of the day, everything came from this earth. It's going to end up back in this earth.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it from? It came from this earth. It's going to end up back in this earth.
Mm-hmm.
You think about it like that, nothing to really worry about.
I think for us as a company too, we want to be early adopters with most things, right? We're pushing technology,
There it
we're
is.
pushing things,
Early
and
adopters.
we're trying to disrupt the industry a bit, right? And now we're starting to see more companies using similar software or using Teslas and things.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, what kind of software you guys use? What's,
Larry's the software guy.
No,
He
they
loves
actually-
the software.
They, sitting with them, they're like, don't use this work, don't use that. And there were some things I've never even heard of.
That's
like,
more bumps. Yeah, we.
what's the HR one again?
Gusto.
Gusto.
Okay.
Okay.
For payroll,
Sponsor
HR.
Gusto. Please send the check over to Two True Guys. That's your.
Yeah.
What else? Gusto. We have
Ramp.
Ramp. New sponsor
What's
for Two
Ramp?
True Guys.
Credit cards. So it's just digital credit cards that keep track of expense and
It's pretty
stuff.
cool.
And they don't pay us, so Brex is similar too. So
As soon as you use your credit card, a text message comes to you. Like literally, they swipe it. A text message comes to you. You take a picture of that receipt in the text message. It, records the information off the receipt, and then categorizes it.
Yeah.
Or
and then
Yeah.
it says like, it
Mhm.
looks like this was a lunch. Who'd you go to lunch with? Put it in the text message, send it. It categorizes it all. You're done. You don't take the receipt. See you later. Because chasing receipts as a business owner, all of you out there that own a business, is awful. And so this takes.
so we
care
got
of that.
Ramp, Gusto.
Samsara.
You said bricks or
Samsara.
something?
Brex is the same as
Brex.
Ramp. Basically,
Okay.
it's a fintech bank that does something very similar. So like we're not
Samsara.
sponsored by Ramp. Yeah, Samsara is for cameras.
Cameras. It's your fleet.
Yeah.
Tracks driving behaviors, how people are driving or not.
Talk about the AI in there.
So it's looking at the facial, and so it's seeing if you're distracted driving by, are you looking at your phone, are you texting? So it does audible alerts in cabin, and then if they continue, then it basically puts you in like a safety box for review by your manager,
Wow.
and then speeding.
like
incredible.
if you're looking down like if you're looking down like this, it's recording that, and it's like, hey, and it will actually talk to you.
Mhm.
Like dumbass.
hey, mother
Stop
effer.
looking down.
Yeah, look up. What are you doing?
And it'll send a little alert to your manager, and obviously
Yeah,
sometimes
if
it was.
it progresses to that
It
point.
sends an alert. You're driving like, oh shit! I got an alert.
No. It
To the
comes-
manager.
It would come to like us, and it could be something like someone sneezed, right, and their head moved. But at the same time, we could be like, oh, dismissed. But at the same
Yeah.
time, too, like Larry said, it gives you a score, and we can even reward people for having the best driving score out of the fleet. So everyone's trying to be the best to win a prize.
How does
a
the
gift
crew
card.
react to stuff like that?
I think it's just you have to teach and train, and then you have to implement. So it's if you roll out something, it's not just here's the new system. It's how do you use the system? What's the value of the system?
Or the purpose, right?
Well, yeah, and also does it bring value to you as an employee, but also like there's a meaningful reasoning behind it, right? How do we lower our at-fault accidents and mitigate potential liability as a company so that we have a healthy company?
Good.
Yeah.
You got to get their buy-in. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, originally, an in-facing camera in a cab is never comfortable. No one likes that, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not fun to have a camera. They thought we'd be watching all the time. Truthfully, we have way too many things to do than watch all the time. The only time we ever watch is when it records when something happens. And so we were told actually by one company, they sell tires, and we know the owner of the company, and he's like, hey, you need to get these in your vehicles, because there's a lot of people during the pandemic, especially that are desperate for money, that were swooping and stopping in front of commercial companies trying to get paydays. And so
Wow.
people were getting in front of heavy vehicles, slamming on their brakes, getting rear-ended, saying they were injured, and suing these companies. And he's like, we put these in our system, and it saved us from litigation, from all these issues. It showed the driver, they claim the driver was texting. The inward camera shows the driver's not texting. So we explain these things to our employees and say, this is just as much protecting you as it is protecting us.
Yeah.
So that when someone claims that you were doing something, we can look and say, no, they weren't. And, you're lying. So
Smart.
it's a good way to protect our employees and the company altogether. So that's what kind of the reason for that.
So what's on the horizon for 2023? What are the early adopters, disruption? Some of the things you're doing are outside the norm, which showing that it works for your success that you guys had in a short amount of time. What's 2023 kind of bringing you from 2020, 21, 22, the learning experiences you've had? What's going on in 2023?
We haven't given it a banner yet. So this year was the year of implementation.
Mhm.
So this year was the year of like, we're going to get all the softwares dialed in. We have 2 locations now, right? So like last year in 21, we added a second location. This year was the year we're going to get them dialed in. So it's like replicable basically.
Okay.
So if we're going to hire someone, they're going to go through this system and they're going to go to this process. Oh, one software we didn't mention, which Hank would kill us if we didn't say we use Arbor Note. So we use Arbor Note.
Arbor Note.
Thank you,
What's
Hank.
up, Hank? Another sponsor to
yeah.
Two Tree Guys. Appreciate it.
But what are the things that can make it more efficient? So as we scale, we want to have less people. We don't need 50 people in an office to run the tree care company. So what things can we implement to make the company better? And Larry has been great at doing lots of research and figuring out, I don't know how many conference calls you've done this year.
Too many.
Yeah.
Too
Trying
many.
to kind of weed through all these companies and figure out the softwares that can really benefit us. And those are some of the bumps, right? We've tried softwares and said, this isn't it for us, and go to the competitor.
And no, let me jump over to you, Larry, on this is it's a lot of work talking to these companies, listening to them, trying to find out, is this going to work for us? It's not. What are some suggestions or ideas that you can give that helps people when they are going through that type of process?
You definitely want to interview at least 3 or 4 in each segment that you want to, that you're interested in. And then you just want to make sure that it connects to your existing systems. Mm-hmm. So, whatever accounting software, does it connect to that? What's the API integration? Those are all important. Because if you don't, you got to make sure they all talk to each other. Because if not, it's just going to be it's going to take longer, and it's going to be more time consuming for that implementation.
Gotcha. And is there anything online that says, hey, you're starting a company, here's the 10 softwares you need that all talk to each other and work that we
Probably Atlas has something. I guess I have 47
no,
companies.
you've no, you've showed me some of these things that I'm going to start looking into, but having that out there would help a lot of people.
Yeah, we could post it.
Here's our programs.
Yeah.
Here's our programs that we use, for the company.
Yeah, it's no
That'd
secret
awesome.
sauce. This is what we use, and hopefully it works for you too.
But think how many companies save so much time based on that and trusting that. You've done the research on that.
Yeah, and I guess you asked the question, which kind of started this, was like, what's the banner year for us for 23? We really haven't established that yet. We need to. We're doing a retreat with all of our salaried employees this weekend. We're all going out with them and their spouses or significant others to the desert. That's probably a question that we'll pose to them, because we really want the employees to have a say in how we shape the company, as long as it makes sense, obviously.
Awesome.
And so if we hear what they're after and what they think, and then me, Marco, and Larry will sit down after that and say, okay, well, based on what they said, this is what we think, and this is where we're headed. Again, we want to add another branch, so that'll kind of come into it. But we do, like Larry implemented, was it monthly?
Employee surveys.
Employee surveys, anonymous. Where it goes out to anonymous to all of our employees, and we get feedback monthly on how is the company doing, what should we do different, how do we get better.
Is that through your HR system?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Cool.
And so it's all anonymous.
Are you getting things back?
Uh-huh.
What are some of the things you're saying?
It's more just it tracks like 1 through 5 on certain questions, and so you just see how people are engaged and if they're happy.
No comments, nothing they can type up?
Yeah, no, there are comments that we implement.
Yeah, there's some people that said like they wish they could work from home more, and then other people said that we do work from home a lot because of just COVID and everyone being in different directions. We wish we could get together more as a corporate thing. So that's where we started doing monthly activities where we go see Maverick together at the movie theater, or we go go-karting, or we go do things that bring the community together.
And that kind of stuff, you wouldn't even think. You're like, who wants to really do that? But it's important.
Yeah, to at least some people.
It's very important, man.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we did the managers retreat this year, where we get everyone together and bring your spouse. Like, you dedicate so much of your life to this company, and they probably have to hear you complain about it and get excited about it. But now come meet the people that you either cheer for or complain about.
If you need a guest speaker, Jared's awesome.
Is he?
He will come and speak at this thing. I'm
do
talking.
Do not do that to me.
No,
when I say we get him in a Speedo
you
in
will
the lazy river.
cry. You will cry hearing him speak. He's been public speaking for the last 20-some years across the world.
I hate every single
amazing.
time.
We're gonna fly you down.
Amazing. No, I'm serious, guys. If you're listening to this and you want to hire Jared to
we're
be a
gonna hire
public
Jared.
speaker,
I won't come.
Send us your calendar, Jared.
I retire.
I won't
from
go.
public speaking.
Send us your calendar, Jared. We're excited.
Oh man.
It is a weird thing how I've been doing it my whole life, and I still hate it. I hate every bit of it. I hate the prep. I hate being in front of people. I get nervous, and I'm like, it's just not my thing.
But you do it because you bring value.
Yeah.
No, I do it because people ask, and I'm the guy who always says yes.
So people ask because you bring value.
That's why you got to ask. Them to
So
come
send us your calendar. We'll figure it out.
to the desert.
Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
You have to go to the restroom? Oh, man. He didn't even make it, Larry. He didn't even make it. He doesn't even know where the restroom's at.
That was a serious.
He's going outside.
He's like,
go.
I was wondering why he was shaking his legs so much. I thought he was like excited, the podcast, and he was in it. No, he had to go pee the last hour the whole time. Watch when he comes comes in, we're just
Hey,
going to end it. We're like,
you
well,
know-
that's the show. We really appreciate everybody.
So at least I got somebody taking my spot because usually that's me. I'll pee
Is it?
two times.
Yeah.
But I'm not drinking, so
There you go.
you know.
But Colby put a little bucket underneath the table, so
Yeah.
he's
I
good.
heard something
See,
like.
It's
That's
like
called-
a standard op.
that's
you
the
know? It's
planner
like,
right there, man. You
yeah.
plan that shit.
Yeah.
You know, Larry. He's
How
not
do
a
we
planner.
become as
He's not a
efficient as
fucking planner.
possible? That's the biggest thing.
Efficiency.
The funny thing is,
Podcast efficiency.
he's going to listen to this in 4 weeks and be like, "Oh, those mother effers started talking shit about me."
And Bob's gonna clip it 15 times.
Oh man, we've never edited this
Oh,
show
shit,
ever.
back on the
Whatever
peanuts.
is said is on here forever
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
We know if we time Larry and it's 2 minutes, he peed. If it's 4 minutes,
Something else happened.
yeah. he
No,
pooped.
this
if
has
it's
been
6 minutes, he pooped his pants.
this has already been great. I mean, I've already gotten some takeaways, which is awesome. You know, it's you come into these not knowing what you're going to get, you know, and it's just great to get. I get one nugget, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, you came in
Freaking
here
awesome.
not knowing you were going to have any guests. to
I
talk
thought it was
to.
just Phil and I. I'm like, hey guys, what are you guys doing here? Are you guys doing? You part of this?
Who
We're
are
like, I
these
think
guys?
so.
Hey, I remember you guys at TCI. What's up?
It's hard because like there's probably a million things to say, and there's a million things we haven't said about
Yeah.
like what it takes to start a business, and it's like a fire hose. The biggest thing is like if you're willing and wanting, and you're actually gonna do it, then do it. But if you're not ready to work like ungodly hours, and your family's
Yeah.
not gonna support you, don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing because like we were comfortable. We made more money than we're making right now for sure at our last company.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to put any money in. But at the same time, like we get to build something that we get to put our
Isn't that
fingerprints
cool?
on, which is awesome. And we get to care for our employees in a whole different way that we've ever gotten to do. And so,
And I think the same way about Larry.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I just had to.
Yeah.
That was $1 million client that just called. I had to close that deal.
When Lee
Yep.
puts the lipstick on, I mean,
Yeah.
It was that big account we were both bidding in San Diego that I just got.
Damn it!
Yeah.
They said you guys.
Damn it, David!
They said they were trying to call you, but it just went to voicemail. So
Sorry about that.
that multifamily just moved over.
Oh man,
That's all right. That's all
Yeah.
right.
It's all right. Now we can afford.
That's what it takes
Jared's
to
I
be-
take 4, give 1.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
They're
it.
like, you're 20% higher than him, but it was okay.
You're
I thought he was going to pick up his phone. He didn't pick up his phone.
That's what it takes to be number one, right?
It does. It does.
Yeah. So I don't know. When you left, I was just telling them because we were
Uh-huh.
making fun about your peeing habits.
Well, don't repeat everything we said
We won't.
because
The
the
listeners
viewers
already heard
don't
it.
want to hear it all
Yeah,
over
no.
again.
Then
I
They're
don't
like,
get to hear
Larry
the
had to
podcast.
pee.
No.
That's it.
No, so I was saying basically back to the original question of like what does it take to start a business, and I said it's like drinking from a fire hose in the sense of like we can't really share what we've lived the last 2.5 years because it's probably been like 7 years worth of material that we've lived. You just have to be willing and wanting to work crazy hours, put in a bunch of money, make less money than you've made before probably for a while.
It's just sacrifices.
Totally.
You got to sacrifice. Whatever that comes down to and how that means, it's just things in life, whatever is what you want and have to do, sacrifices need to happen. And it's not going to be easy. And look, anytime someone starts any type of company, it's at least a few years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of grinding.
I got 20. Still
Yeah.
sacrificing.
Yeah.
He is.
It never
he's,
ends.
he's like, I'm supposed to be home right now, but I'm sacrificing
Well,
for
and,
this.
and that's it with business because you never get to that point where you're okay, and it's you always want more growth or more more in a certain direction, and if you get to that point where you plateau and there's nothing left, there's like, why am I doing this? That's not why you got into business, and I think that's the best part about business is there's always something to chase and always a new direction to go, and it's just you'll never get there. It's not an end in sight. It's the journey, right?
Exactly.
And enjoy the process, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different every day. I mean, people ask like, "Oh, what's it like being an owner?" It's like it's a janitor and it's a decision maker and it's everything. All
gotta-
at the
you gotta
exact
wear all the
same
hats.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the exact
You know?
same time. It might be running a chainsaw 100 miles away to a job because you're the only one that can do it right now, and you're going to do it anyways. It's not fun, but you're going to do it.
True.
Yeah.
True. So the people listening on this show, I always ask people at the end, you guys have given a lot of nuggets, a lot of wisdom. Don't think this is just a one show and done kind of thing. You guys got a lot to give back to the industry, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. 3 people that worked for a company for a long time coming together during a pandemic, investing your own money to build something and grow it to where you grew it to in the last 2.5, 3 years here. I always ask for some wisdom, something you can share that's from the heart to the people listening today, driving home from work, going to work, just got in a fight with their wife, sitting there listening to the podcast right now. What things can you give that doesn't have to be about our industry, doesn't have to be about, put two hands on the chainsaw and safety's first, but, something you can really give somebody that you've learned in your life of in this industry and just life in general? What can you give?
I would say, people get hesitant to start a company because they overthink things, and they always think about just the negatives of what could, and just you gotta jump in. And I know a lot of friends of mine that have thought about starting a company, and they just overthink things, and they, in their mind, they just keep thinking to themselves, well, if it goes this way, it's going to be that, or they just overplan it, thinking it's going to be perfect at this time or whatever it's going to situation. But to start the business, there's never a great time. There's never the best time. You got to just jump in and do it and put 100%. And, what we were taught from from the founder of Valley Crest was stay close to your customers and take care of your people. You do those two things, you'll be successful, and that guy, started Valley Crest with $500 nursery and made it $1 billion, and so wow. It's keep it simple and do the right thing and be consistent. I always preach to my employees integrity, and they go, well, how does that pertain to my position? It's doing the right thing when no one's looking. Yep. Whatever that is. It could be you're walking with a whole bunch of branches, you break sprinkler heads, well, report it or tell the, on-site landscaper to fix it or flag it. Or you're at a job site and you drive it and you walk it and you identify trees that need to be removed because you did a good bid. So it's just having integrity, and then you make sure that you live by that, and then that gets translated to the way that you work.
Yep, that's great.
Yeah, you kind of
that's good.
To go back and talk about people that worry and they're on that fence of, man, do I do it? Do I take that leap? And they're like, oh, this can go wrong, that can go wrong. I forget who I was just listening to. Then it's 90% of the things that go through your head that you worry about that think are going to happen don't come true. 90%.
Yeah.
And it's like you're scared of all that rubbish that you're putting in there, thinking it go wrong, and 90% of the time it's not going to happen.
Well, and you analytical folks, like I'm
terrible.
Crazy analytical, and so you can talk yourself in and out of anything. So you can talk yourself into business or right out of it the same way. You can say, well, I want all these things, but I have all these things, whatever, back and forth. If it's not your passion, don't do it because it's a lot of work. But if it is your passion, absolutely do it, because you'll never be happier. You'll probably work harder, but you'll never be happier than when you're doing it for yourself if you're excited about it. If you're not, you'll hate it more and it'll cost you way more money. And like Larry said, the integrity thing I think is the biggest thing. I mean, oftentimes tree companies will cut corners, cut costs, do things to try to make up the difference to win the sale. The good thing about owning our company is we said, regardless of whatever happens, we're going to do what's right. And that means making good gross margin to zero gross margin. We're going to follow through because we're a young company anyways. It doesn't benefit us to cut corners, but we're not going to skip that last slope because we're out of time. We're not going to do those things. And by telling our employees that, they've picked it up and they understand the simple level of service that we're expecting from them that goes to our customers. And those things pay dividends throughout the entire company by saying, no matter what, we're going to do what's right. And whatever that looks like from any point, right? So,
yeah, it's a ripple effect. I mean, you do something potentially that you thought someone didn't see or that you could get away with, and it all comes back, and it could be you broke something, damaged something, didn't report something, and then all of a sudden 3 months later it's reported, and it was a branch that went through a roof that ended up turning into a water damage because the rain came, right? Or whatever that is. But all those things, they just come full circle.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to teach and preach to people. I'm like, you don't want to be the low-cost leader. You want to charge accordingly so you can invest in your company, invest in your people, and make the right margin so that you're a successfully, healthy company long-term. And if you just start taking shortcuts and you start to undercut, it just catches up, and it's just not worth it. We're in an industry that's got a lot of risk, and, we're very good at what we do, and there's a lot of education that goes into knowing how we do things and value what you do. Because if you don't, your customers won't.
That's good. That's great advice. Appreciate that. A gentleman named Bob Jones Sr. Said the two most important words in the English language are do right. Live by that. Do what's right.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And other people start doing what's right. So appreciate you guys, man.
No, thanks for having us, man. We probably word vomited all over you guys.
No,
but thanks for
this
having
is
us.
great.
Yeah.
We'll be here tomorrow for the next round.
Yeah.
Our flight's not till 8.
You're
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? I thought this was an 8-hour podcast.
Yeah, I
no,
thought
but
this-
I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys being on the show, hearing your guys' story. As always, I say, you know, I want you guys back because the guests we have coming here, I haven't had a bad guest. And it seems like everybody keeps topping them. Probably the worst guest was Ryan Torchicola. I just put it out there, these little nuggets, so I know he's listening to it, and maybe he'll text me on it, but he was probably the worst guest ever. And then Travis Fickerson's number 2. But anyways, no, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys being on the show. What you guys have done is pretty freaking awesome, inspiring. You've kind of set the bar right here for a lot of people out in the industry that are following you, watching you. They want to be like you. They want to learn from you. Keep it going. Keep innovating. Keep changing. Keep disrupting the industry that you have. I'm excited to see where you guys are at next year. To see, looking back at this podcast, if you guys are where you said you were going to be.
Yeah.
And we're an open book. I mean, anytime people message us on LinkedIn or reach out to us and they have a question about what we're doing or how we're doing things, we're always super transparent because like rising tides raise buoys, right? And we want to make sure that we give good information that helps people to make their companies better or them as an employee. And so I've never been insecure of trying to hold on to something that can't be shared. I just look at it as a learning thing because I got to learn a lot and I was fortunate to be surrounded by good mentors in my career and and I want to pay that back.
That's awesome.
And so
We even tell people we charge.
I mean, I mean, I'm excited because I'm going to send an email that says, give me all your top 35 clients and the last bid you gave them.
No problem.
And we'll send you our man-hour rate, our gross margin,
I
and
love
profit.
it. I love it. I love it.
And we'll send the tree counts.
phone
We'll
numbers, emails.
Yeah, we'll
Can
send you. Actually, we'll just send you the shape files, and you can upload it, so you don't even have to mount
If
it.
it's the top 35, good
easier.
luck. Those
Thank you,
people
guys.
love us. So
Oh,
good
yeah.
luck.
Yeah. That's
You can
good.
give a
That's
bigger
good.
gift basket.
Yeah.
I would love for you guys to, keep telling your story, man, and get involved in the chapter. And if you guys ever want to come out and give a talk and put a presentation together, even 1 hour at one of the shows or something, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. Just getting out in front of the community, and our industry needs it so much. And I learned a lot from just sitting here with you guys. And I know, when I get those little nuggets, it means something, and be able to pass that on is big because that's what we do here, right? Is that we pass on the knowledge. So, man, if you guys, anytime you guys want to, get involved with the Western chapter or something like that and give a talk.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we were at TCI Expo in Charlotte. That's where we all met, and I think that was kind of like what was the fire that kind of got us excited because we met so many cool people, and we weren't expecting it in a good way, and it was just like, wow, this was like a great experience. We learned a lot. We were able to help people, and like it went two ways, and so for us, that kind of excited us to like kind of just even make us more into this industry and want to give more and be involved because it was super cool. And like, that's why we're going to TCI Winter Management. It was that same thing.
Colby's going too?
Colby's not going.
Yeah, I want to share a raft with you at the pool. It's been a fun time. I can't wait.
We can't afford a room, so we got to share with you, dude.
Hey,
I
share,
need the
dude.
sunscreen,
I'm
though. I
open.
can't
You guys, I'll
Yeah.
set up cots in the room. You guys are good.
All right. Oh.
You're
Bunk
good.
beds.
You got to watch.
We do have some extra rooms.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, it's out
Cool.
there.
Well, thanks for having us. We look forward to potentially doing this again sometime.
No, we
but
appreciate
come
you
visit
guys.
us in
and
Southern California too.
Guys-
We'd love to have you guys.
guys, check them out, man. The Arbor Group. These guys, met them a month ago. All of a sudden, I get a text saying, "Hey, we're coming up here." I didn't know if you were coming up here for us or what, or I still don't even know. To tell you
It
the
was
truth.
this.
And here you guys are on a podcast. We're gonna eat some good food after this. But you guys
I
came up
told
here.
you, Phil. I was like, dude, I'm coming up.
We do
I
follow
don't know.
up.
I
Yeah,
drank.
yeah,
I drank a lot. I didn't
Yeah.
know if I remember
No,
what was
people-
talked about
yeah,
or what.
If I say I'm going to do it, I follow through. I have to. It's just part of my DNA.
Good to know. Good to know. I'm gonna hold
so
you to
awesome.
that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
guys, listen. Follow these guys. Check them out. Where can they go find you on Instagram, Facebook? Where at?
The Instagram's the Arbor Group. Facebook, we don't do Facebook. We do LinkedIn, the Arbor Group, and
Look
then
how innovative they are. They're like, Facebook's for people born in like 2000.
Well, board members would follow it probably, and Phil. And then
Yeah, we'd have 2 people.
Yeah, and then our website.
Jared doesn't have damn Facebook.
Good.
Damn it.
Yeah, good. Jared's leading
I'm canceling
edge.
my
Yeah.
tomorrow. Damn.
And then
Zuckerberg.
He's
our
a
web-
big TikTok
Yeah,
guy.
our website's the arborgrp.com. The Arbor Group was some financial company.
Yeah.
We couldn't buy their website.
There it is,
so.
guys. Guys, go on there, follow them, text them, call them, whatever. If you guys got something out of this, that's a fee, man. Pay it. Pay it forward. Share this. If somebody else, you have no idea, you put it on your Instagram, someone else puts it on their Instagram, and then all of a sudden you reach someone that you never knew that you're going to reach that needed to hear this today. But guys, that's the Two Tree Guy podcast. A bunch of tree guys drinking beer, sitting on a table in California, talking about the industry, talking about business, talking bullshit, drinking some beers, having a good time. So I appreciate everybody, and just remember to continue to elevate the standard of our industry through safety, through training, through innovation. We appreciate everybody. Love everybody. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Peace. There it is. Bye.